Welcome to the ESOG podcast. This podcast features the people and the stories inside Engineered Solutions of Georgia. What is Engineered Solutions of Georgia? It's a locally owned and operated foundation repair and basement waterproofing company with extensive experience meeting the unique foundation needs of residents throughout the Atlanta area. And we can't go anywhere without first talking about the elephant in the room, that ESOG jingle.
With over 30 years of experience and a lifetime of support, residential and commercial, hey, we do it all. For basement waterproofing and repairs to your foundation, dial 678 ESOG now.
Jay Eastland is the co-owner of ESOG, and he has the story behind the song.
So, my partner Lewis and I started Engineered Solutions in 06, and we'd been in business for about a year, and we were kind of floundering with how to market the business, how to advertise it. We're construction guys, so we didn't really understand any of that, and we came across a local guy, a guy named Derek Ritchie, who's kind of been in this sort of home service advertising business for a while, and he started talking about a jingle, or I think he might have even called it a musical signature. And Lewis and I were hesitant, but he finally convinced us that it was gonna help our business. And at the time, we didn't have a lot of money, and that jingle was, not cheap. And I remember Lewis and I agonizing over whether we should spend that money or not. And obviously, we did spend it, and it's been a great thing. I was in the airport a month or so ago, early in the morning for a flight, and I had a Engineered Solutions shirt on, and a guy walks up to me and starts singing the jingle. So it really has been something that people have, it's gotten stuck in their mind, and it's allowed them to identify with us. And it was one of the best business decisions that I was forced to make.
That business decision seems to have worked out pretty well. Let's bring in Jay's partner, Lewis.
Well, my name is Louis Cuevas. I have been with ESOG since Jay and I founded the business in 2006. And my job has run through quite a bit of different capacities as the business has progressed. It began as Jay doing sales and me doing installations, and 15, almost 16 years later now, I oversee a lot of the production that happens, meaning all of the installations, whether it's on commercial buildings or residences.
Jay and Lewis both have a wealth of experience in this industry too.
My brother-in-law was actually the first one to bring me into this type of business. As a young kid, I had no idea that folks even did this type of work. Once I began doing it, then some of my other brothers also began doing it, and I now have 4 out of 5 siblings that also run a very similar company. Their expertise, of course, is a little bit different, so they don't quite run it the same, but it's in the same general type of industry.
You could say it's in your blood.
It is. I guess you could say that. I never really thought about it like so, but I guess it is.
Yeah, so Lewis and I actually worked together at 3 other companies before we started Engineered Solutions. And, like a lot of people that start businesses, we thought that we could do it better or at least differently.
And what does better and differently look like? Well, it has to do with how ESOG treats its employees.
So my name's Mandy Carneglia. I am the brand manager for ESOG. So I sort of head up all of our advertising and marketing efforts, and I work directly with one of the owners. I cannot even begin to describe the atmosphere at ESOG. These are easily the best people I've ever worked with. All of upper management is great leaders, and they're friendly, and they've really helped cultivate a culture where it sounds really cheesy, but it really is like a family. People go out of their way to help each other, on a work level, on a personal level. We have happy hours and events, and they bring in lunch, and they just do everything they can to make sure, we're very work hard, play hard. So we do everything we can to make sure that a job is done right, and we're helping people that, different customers that we work with, but then they're also make sure that we have that same kind of feeling with each other.
In years past, working for other companies, I really wasn't very pleased with the kind of treatment some employees got. Some employees got more preferential treatment than others did when they were basically doing the same job. So I didn't quite agree with that, but I wasn't in a position to really make changes.
Company culture is immensely important. And I remember when Lewis and I first started, people would talk about the culture of a company, and I thought that was just ridiculous business cliche. And, but as we grew, I started to understand that that's one of, if not the most important things that we design into this organization.
So I'm Taylor Grice, and I am a commercial foreman at Engineered Solutions, and I do a lot of structural repair for foundations. So we do a lot of piering, wall bracing, stuff like that. So Jay and Lewis are the owners of the company, and they take good care of us. And they're always asking about how my family's doing. They're really personal, and they care a lot. They always make sure that, we're doing good and that we have what we need to get the jobs done. So they're really good business partners to be working for.
It's also about how ESOG treats its customers.
Although I know that life isn't fair, I am a big believer in making things as fair as possible, and that includes customers, treating them right, respecting their time, being fair to them with their time, because they're actually they're hiring us and they're allowing us into their home. So I'm a big believer in being fair to them with their time, with their property, and in how we treat them mostly.
And so one of the big platforms that we stand on is we're not afraid to tell you, you can go buy some supplies at Home Depot and spend a few hours on your weekend to fix it. But we're also not afraid to tell people, you have a big problem. It's going to need some big equipment. It's going to cost money, but your house will stand. We offer a life of the structure warranty on a lot of our work. And it's the warranty that as long as that structure stands, if anything goes wrong, we're going to make it right if it's something that we didn't do right. And other companies just can't offer that transparency and reliability like we can.
Fred Rodriguez is a real customer.
When we first bought the property, it's an old 1943 home here in Atlanta. And the foundations of the footings were old and brittle, and we had areas of the home that were settling. So we called ESOG out, and they had one of their engineers come out and one of their consultants to inspect and evaluate the structure. It was extremely comprehensive. They're very professional, and then ultimately they provided me with a plan on what was required to get these footings and foundation, restabilized. Not only did they provide that, but it was done in a manner that was really professional, as well as it was an engineer, an actual licensed engineer who put this together for us. So, which gave us that peace of mind that it was being done properly. That was about 10 years ago for the foundation and footings. We just recently, about a year and a half ago, we noticed that the crawl space was a little dank, to say the least, which is very common here in the Southeast and in Georgia. So we've been hearing folks rave about the full encapsulation process inside of a crawl space. So I talked it over with my wife. We said, hey, let's call ESOG and give them a shot on this. They came out, did the same thing. They evaluated the property, put together a comprehensive plan on getting that crawl space encapsulated, as well as controlling the environment, the climate, or the humidity inside that crawl space. And so they provided us with a quote and a plan, and we ultimately had them take care of that work for us.
Fred didn't hire Engineered Solutions just once. He hired them twice.
they've been around a while, and just the fact that they've got licensed engineers on staff really sets them apart as far as I'm concerned. I'm in the restoration business, and it's real important to bring in engineers and those type of professionals to evaluate, a plan and put together a detailed plan of action to getting a problem resolved. So that was really the determining factor.
In my personal experience, it's about being a good listener. If you can take it in from the customer, you can find out what problems they've had in the past. You can find out the end game for them, which ultimately is a proper repair. If you can get down to the bottom of that by doing some good listening, then you can uncover a lot of things and oftentimes put them at peace with the dealings that they're having with my company.
Join us next time for more stories from inside Engineered Solutions of Georgia, or visit them online at esogrepair.com. This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. Darren Sutherland, Executive Producer. Jeremy Powell, Creative Director. Jacob Sutherland, Director. Producers Jason Gentarola and Matt Golden. And Kezia May, Copywriter. All rights reserved.